How's it going, Ravi?
Hey, RK. Yep, not bad. Going
Not bad.
okay. Mm-hmm.
Not bad. Yeah, so once again, we'll have to belay what we discussed, I think, last week.
Because of work for you.
Because of
pressure.
work. Yeah, I mean, I think you're also held up in a lot of things.
And not that I'm anyway
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
much on canvas style stuff. So I profess in what? Ignorance in such
Ignorance on this
stuff.
one.
Or laziness, actually.
Yeah.
I can pick it up and try stuff.
Yeah.
But right now I'm not. Yeah.
But that being said, I mean, if anybody wants to actually expand on what we have done
Absolutely,
so far
they
on the dots and boxes, you can, the link
Take the
will be in
code.
the description for the work in progress, and
Sure.
you can actually take a look at that.
Mhm.
All right. But that being said, today, I just wanted to showcase some of the APIs that we've built over the last, I think, 6 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought we'll just showcase the APIs that we have.
Right.
And I think it's a good way to return back to the internet what we have taken from the internet. Right? I mean,
Sure.
we've taken so much from the internet. I think it's only fair that we return back the favor and basically showcase the API that we have. All of these APIs are not behind any paywall or anything. It's just free to use. And I think they're fairly simple APIs, but I'm hoping that somebody will find use out of them.
Great.
All right. With that being said, let's go to
have a
the
look.
APIs.
Mm-hmm.
So here are the APIs that I was talking about. So I have a website. I mean, it's called api.matkarma.in, and I have all of the APIs listed over here.
Oh, great.
All right.
Right.
So the APIs that I have is the IP address to geolocation. Just give me 1 minute. Let me just expand just a little bit. All right. So this, I think, should be fine, right? Yeah, easily readable.
Yeah.
So this is IP address to geolocation. You can provide an IP address, and the API would return you a geolocation, including the city where it is supposed to be and the latitude and longitude, which I think is more important than the country, state, and and city. There is a pin code to geolocation. Now, I do not believe that this pin code to geolocation is available anywhere on the internet, at least for India. At least for India. That being said, this will only work for India. This only works for Indian pin codes. So you provide an Indian pin code, and it will return you the post office where it is supposed to be, and most importantly, the latitude and the longitude. Now, the thing is, for every pin code that you see over here, it will also return you a latitude and longitude confidence. I mean, how confident it is that this is indeed the location where the pin code is supposed to be. So what I have done is I have taken the publicly available geolocation, and they actually map the pin codes over there. So what I've basically done is I've taken all of the pin codes available in India, and I've searched it in the geolocation database, and basically created my own database out of it. That's how this thing essentially works.
So what is the confidence?
So the confidence
value
is from 1 to 4. 1 is like the highest confidence. 4 is like the lowest confidence. All right. So a description of what these confidences are, or a description is given. So 1 represents the highest confidence, and 4 represents the lowest confidence. All right. So 4, even the 4th confidence would basically place you in the general area as to where the pin code is. At the very least, it will take you to the post office of that nearest pin code. That's the that's the promise that I give with this.
Okay, shall we try that out?
Yeah. I mean, I'll showcase everything, but I just wanted to list down all of the.
You want to show all of them?
Show
first.
all of them, and then I'll go to Postman and I'll show it. All right. So I also have the current fuel prices. I do not believe there is a website for this, or there is a service for that on the internet. But this can get you the current fuel prices for all major cities in India. I mean, I think I have about 130 cities all across India. Now, you can say, if you say all is equal to yes, it will give you all the cities. If you exclude this parameter, it will only give you the 4 major cities. Chennai, Delhi, Bombay, and Kolkata. That's about it. And then you can also have fuel prices by date, where you can have... you can give historical fuel prices. You can get historical fuel prices. And I have started recording these fuel prices from the 28th of May 2021 onwards. You can go back on these fuel prices up to this date. So about 6 months or so before
of info.
I have. I also have this neat little thing. I'm calling it interpret numbers, but basically it's like a numerical representation, a number to text utility, where you provide a number with decimal places and everything, and it will give you 4 types of values, or 1, 2, 3, or 6 types of values. It will give you that number in as an Indic representation, Western representation, and in Hindi, and then the text also. So you can see. So this Hindi number. This number in text it will give, and also the same thing in Hindi
text.
And Hindi text.
How cool.
Yeah. And then you can also have the Western representation with millions and billions and things like that. All right.
Excellent.
With that being said, I can just show. I can just showcase
the usage of those.
Yeah. The usage of all of these. We can make like a live call and basically showcase this. The first thing we discussed was the IP address to geolocation, and so you give. This is all GET. All of them are GET. They do not use post. You just need to provide whatever IP address or whatever parameter is prescribed on the website.
Sure.
So this is, for example, I give an IP address. I think this is Google's IP address. I'm not sure. So once I give over this, and if I click send, it'll give me the IP address.
Right.
So I haven't changed anything. Let's do one thing, right? Let's just go to Google and say, what is my IP address? So it gives me this IP address. And what I can do is I can just replace this value over here.
Right.
And if I click send. Now this does tell me that this is in India, Maharashtra, but we are not there. We are actually in Mylapore, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Right. And the reason why that is because our exit point, I think from India is over there. And it just sort of records that as our IP address.
That's what Google tells us.
Google does. That's what Google tells us.
Yeah.
All right. But but you get the idea. And this is all, it does validations and things like that as well. So it can give you things like this, like, this is not a valid request. And it also returns you the appropriate status also. So if it's a bad request, it will give you a bad request. If it cannot find, let's say, a specific IP address, then it will give you a 404 error. Oh, this actually returned values. I'm surprised by that. But if I said something like 12.12.12.12, this is a valid, looks like a valid IP address. But this will not have any values. Oh, this still return values. I'm so surprised. But anyways,
these are server IP addresses that they'll keep.
But anyways, the point is the status that you see, the HTTP status
is
that
also
you see, will match the value over here. So if an IP address is not found, it will give you a 404 error, as it is supposed to. This is the pin code to geolocation. If I provide this one, for example, it will tell you that this is in Gangtok, Sikkim.
Wow.
And it will also give you the latitude and location, and like we discussed earlier, it will also give you the confidence, and it will give you all the matches that it found for that specific pin code that we provided. All right.
Okay.
Let's try.
But R11, let's try 6004,
right?
Sure.
Yeah. If I say send. So this will tell you, this is Mandaveli, which is actually close to Mylapore, and Mylapore head office, and its confidence numbers and all of those things. All right. So these are the three matches that we got for the same pin code. Right. This is the current fuel prices. I think. So let me first exclude this. And I'll say send. I'm not saying that I want all the current petrol prices, but you can see that it will return it for Chennai, Delhi, Kolkata, and Mumbai. Oh, and New Delhi, of course. I forgot about that. But these five. But if you wanted for all of the cities in India, you can just say all, and you can say send, and it will tell you for, I think, about. Is there a way to count how many records are there inside this price count? I don't think so, right? But anyways, Postman isn't recording that. But this will basically cover all of the cities in India, from north to south, from east to west. All of the cities are essentially covered.
Wow.
I remember this. So it's about between 80 and 130 cities it'll tell. All right. And this is always for the current day. This is for the price. These are the prices today, for example. Right? This is the historical fuel prices. So I can give a specific date, and it will return the fuel prices for that date. So when I click send, these were the fuel prices on that date. Now, I think this will give us a little bit of heartburn, but you can see what the prices were on May 28th. So let's see what the prices were on what date? 2021 12, right? 12/01 on December 1st. Oh, by the way, the date is always supposed to be YY YYMMDD. I think this is the international standard or whatever. Not Indian, not American, but this is the international standard. So on the 1st of December, this is what the prices were in all of these places. All right. And finally, this is the number 2 index text. And this one, you can just give any number over here. And this will give you the proper indic representation, which is divided into lakhs, crores, Arab, and all of those things. It will also give you the Hindi number or the or what is supposed to look like in Hindi. This is the text as it would appear in Hindi, we would read it.
Yeah.
And this is the same thing part. In Hindi, right? Western representation.
Let me read that. 1,23,000.
23,456.25.
Wow, dashamlav and all.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. And then the Western representation and then the Western text. So this is 123,000 something. All right. With that being said, how big can you get with this number? So let's just try that, right? So whoa. I hope it works. I'm really not sure if it'll work, but let's see. Yeah, there you go. So this was a success. So you can see that this can go up to 999 Shank, 99 Padma, 99 Neel, 99 Kharab, 99 Arab, 99 Crore, 99.
I didn't know after Arab. I didn't know.
Yeah, it's Arab, Kharab, Neel, Padma, Shank, and then there is Mahashank, by the way. Yeah. So this is the Indic representation. This is Hindi. 99 Shank, 99 Padma, 99 Neel, 99, and so on and so forth. And then the same thing.
Quintillion.
Yeah. And the same thing in English.
How cool. How cool is that?
Yeah.
I think that's a useful, the last one is quite useful for the students also.
Yeah.
Or learners.
For learners also.
Hindi,
yeah. I mean, you can see.
Put it up and
yeah.
get it.
So
where is the URL for this? Where can anybody find this?
So what I'll do is I'll take this Postman. So this is a Postman collection that I have. I'll take this Postman collection and I'll put it on our GitHub, and I'll leave a link to the GitHub on on this one.
Right.
On the video description, and I'll also leave a link to the API website on the API webpage on the video description so that you can take a look. So that's number 2. I'll show you a real live usage of the current petrol prices.
Okay.
All right. So let's say I go to my website once again, and I have a EV savings web page, and let me just expand this a little bit. So with this, you can find out how much fuel you have or how much money you have saved by switching to EV. So right now my vehicle has gone 8,000 kilometers, and let's say the equivalent petrol car would have been a Tata Nexon petrol.
Correct.
I have a Tata Nexon EV, so
yes.
I'm just looking for that equivalent.
Correct.
The current fuel prices, if you see, these are the current fuel prices as they have been fetched by the web service.
Very cool.
So that web service that we saw is being used over here.
Nice.
And if I was living in Chennai,
down below,
for example, if I selected
just above.
Okay. So this is in Chennai, and I have the Nexon EV. And I take this one, and the cost per unit in Tamil Nadu is about 6.6. So I've saved about 50,000 rupees.
Wow.
So not only does this tell you how much money I've saved, it also tells you how much pollution I have saved. So if this was a petrol vehicle, which it is, which it is an equivalent of, I have saved about 80 liters of carbon dioxide from leaving the atmosphere. So that's about it. So this is like a real live usage of that web service.
Very cool.
Of the current petrol prices web service that I just wanted to showcase. So if you have something to build like this where you wanted to use this web service, I thought this would be like a neat way for you to use this one.
Yeah.
I think the two most useful web services would be the fuel prices and the pin code to geolocation site. I think this would really be useful. By the way, this is the one that we used to convert our latitude and our Telegram bot. Telegram bot, we had an episode where we took the Telegram bot and saw where the hits were all.
Correct.
This is the one that we used to actually find out.
So RK, I just had a thought when you were showing me the city the fuel prices that you have. So suppose I'm living in Bangalore also, then that initial either I have to go click all and see all of them and then look at the Bangalore fuel price.
Right.
Can't we have like an parameter for city instead?
For city itself. That's a
What
good
do you-
suggestion. That's a good suggestion. Yeah.
You,
so
on
yeah.
your side, you'll just have to parse that city and return the
Return,
price
yeah,
for that one.
for
right?
that one. All right. Yeah, I can definitely add that in. I can definitely make that change. Yeah, and if the viewers, if you have other suggestions to make just like this one, I think that was a very valid suggestion. I would be happy to actually program that in. No issues at all. I think one more thing I was thinking about was that indic number representation,
that's so
text
cool.
to, number to text. If you want to add other languages, you can just let me know and I can add it in.
Yeah, so very cool, because I had my students use something called Numbers API, and that had nothing like Indian numbers, and these are all Indian students, right? I'm sure it'll be very worthwhile to see, even to see and try and read. Like for instance, I didn't know this Kharab Neel idea. So I think it's a nice project for students to also do. So this API should be more popularized for student community,
Right,
especially that last one.
Yeah, and if you're interested, I can show you, or I can share you the source code of this one, of all of these things as well. I think for your students, if they are into programming, you can actually share the code that I have written. This is all written in PHP, by the way.
Okay.
So you can share the code with them in along
so
with,
even if they're making some like very simple learning to make API calls, right? So that's a project in themselves, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just searching for free APIs for them to use, and this would have been a great project,
Okay.
right? Or next going ahead, when I do the next batch, I'll have this one instead of that Numbers API. That was just giving me some very basic info about numbers. This gives a lot more information.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm glad it can be of use.
Just take that and put that, just display it and it'll
somewhere
be cool.
on a web page or
on
anything,
an app, mobile app.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Yeah. All right, that's about it that we had for this week. Do join us again next week, and we'll show you something more interesting, something as interesting as this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Ciao.